All right, everyone. So, just for a little fun, I am going to do a couple of astrology readings, just mini readings, and just give brief information about a few people. One, because one of my mutuals, Paranormal Coochie, mentioned something about a few of them. So, I wanted to look at their little parts of their chart. And then the other one is the one I'm going to start with first, is because this person has made me laugh recently. So I'm not going to do a full astrology reading. I'm going to just cover two sections for the people because I'm going to do this is part of the death doula, right? So I'm going to do the death charts for most of them and what we call their bread and butter or their money maker. So how they're going to make their money in this world. I'm going to start with Cardi B, only because I don't really know her. She's, in my son's era, right, of people. So I know a little bit about her, but recently I saw these different memes and the court cases and stuff, and she's really funny. And so I said, hey, let me just make Cardi B just to see what's in her chart because people keep saying things about she should be like a comedian or something to that effect. So the information that we use in astrology, and this is, by the way, not the astronumerology. This is strictly the astrology because the astronumerology gives further details and it takes a lot more time. But this is just the basics of what's in her chart from two areas. And I'm using information that was found online. And I want to give a disclaimer. Her time of birth, it has not been confirmed. So it's listed at 1610. And my second disclaimer is I don't do Western astrology, right? So I do Vedic astrology. So when I look at her chart, whereas they might say she's a Libra, well, in my chart, she's not. Okay. Different things. But if you follow me, you know I'm more accurate with mine. Just saying. Okay. So Cardi is Belly Callus, Marlinus, Almanzor, I imagine. I may not have pronounced her name correctly, but Cardi B, born October 11th, 1992. So younger than my baby. All right. So time of birth in New York City is going to be listed at 1610. Okay. And I'm not going to show you the details of her chart because that's if you're an astrologer, you can go look up her information, do your own chart. But some people they take information and they pull out stuff that is to me more private, and there are things in her chart that I would not share with the public. It is information that I would share with her if she were talking with me. So there's a couple of things that I may not say, right? But just for the first thing, look at for it. So in her chart, being that she is the way she falls in my astrology makes her a Virgo rising, a Virgo in a sun rising with a Pisces moon. And just so you know, that Pisces moon means she's actually intuitive. So she knows things, right? This is probably part of her comedic timing. It's partially why she's able to like go the paths that would benefit her life, right? And then with this Virgo energy, and this also, she in her second house of communication, she has Mercury, which is a young kind of energy, balancing with Libra, and she has Venus energy. So she loves to talk and she has a youthful conversation. Another part of her appeal, a part of her personality, a part of the attraction, right? Venus is an attraction, a beauty. Her face and that whole area, her mouth, her lips, all of that is a very attractive feature for a lot of people. And then Mercury also rules the hips. And then I looked up, her hips are um, a topic, a conversation. Let's just put it that way. So, how is she going to make her money in this world? And some of you might be thinking, well, she's already made her money. She's 32. She has not already made her money. She has made some money, not already made her money. So for her, it is her money will come through a balance in her artistic talents involving pleasure and amusement, bedroom activities, so her body and her shape, and clubs, beauty and music, and then social. and her sex appeal. Her communication is going to be her strongest asset. But the hidden thing is she is very business oriented. She is destined to make money through home and business adventures. So the business adventures could be the clothing, change a lot of different clothing. So she could have something to do with fashion somewhere, something to do with her hair and wigs and things. She may be involved in selling those. She's may be involved, like I said, with a clothing line, or sexual toys or things, perfumes, things that are between a couple, that romantic type energy. She might be selling things of that nature, something that makes you feel sexy, and that is going to actually enhance her money, not just the records or anything like that. She does have the ability to blend beauty and fashion, which draws people to her style, right? They're drawn to whatever she's wearing, and they want to get that. So she's eventually going to make more money in the business than she's going to make in the music. Although she's making money in the music, she's going to make more money in that other side. The other thing is the way she's making money is through her street smarts, her body, and through her unconventional means of interacting with blue collar workers. So there's something about her that people feel drawn to, and that is why she's going to make money. So they'd be like, if Cardi B is selling this drink, they're going to be like, I'm drinking Cardi B's drink. So just because they're drawn to her, they would actually purchase the items that have her name on them, a bag, whatever it is. So if as she moves into business, because she's always thinking about business adventures and how to make more money, she's going to be more successful in that avenue in the long run. Um, the other thing I look at, because there's so many bad things, but I do look at things like the death doula portion of it. I'm not going to give you all the death doula portion for her because I want to keep this light with her. But the good news is that um, there, at least her death is not associated with like some violent thing, right? That's the kind of thing that most people fear, some massive thing. Like if you're going to have a death, like if you're going to die in your bed. There's a thing where people say you're going to die with your shoes on, meaning, you got some issues. She's not one of those. So, all right. So that's Cardi B. So look for Cardi B as she matures and goes forward in life to actually move into one. She's going to do more acting. Now, this is the numerology portion of it. She's going to get into more acting, and she's going to get into more of the communication side of it. So you'll see her with more comedic type roles and appearances outside of her music, and that's going to make her money. Let's see. She's extremely family oriented. I could see her having at least 5 kids, not 4. So I would expect her to have another child after this one that she's pregnant with now. So that's Cardi. Okay. All right. You guys have a good one.